All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. And as you hopefully know by now, what I've been doing is creating a series of videotape presentations based on mostly on the slides for the textbook C Sharp 8th edition that we're using for the AWD, or Application and Web Development 1100 C Sharp programming class. And I'm not positive, but I think the reason that I had the problems before was the naming of the buttons that I did. All right, what I'm going to do is this. I am going to unlock this. So I got an add product, delete product, and exit. I'm going to remove all three of these buttons. And I'm going to add them back. All right, let's get the size. All right, let's lock our controls and let's put this back. All right, so this is going to be btn add. All right, this is going to be btn, I don't remember. This is exit. So this will be btn exit, and it'll say exit. So this will say add new product. How about just add product? This will say delete product. And it will be btn delete. And finally, this one will be btn exit, and it'll say exit. Now we can do this. We can do an A for add product here. We can do a D for delete product here. Oops. Try that again. And we can do an X for the exit. All right, so we've got those. Now the problem that we had before was the code was not mapping up with this stuff. Okay, so we'll see if we can do that now. So here is add product, and it's saying add one click. Okay, that's okay. I wouldn't normally do it like this, but hey, I'm just going to do it like this. I'm going to take all the add code that's here. I'm going to copy it to the clipboard, and I'm going to paste it in here. All right, and where it is now in this add, I'm just going to have this be empty. All right, then for the delete, I'm going to grab this. All right, oopsie, try that again. Grab everything inside of the delete and put that into the delete. So that'll go in here. And then finally, for the exit, all right, that had said, I think it was just this dot close, and it is. All right. And by the time we do this in class, I'll have this version, so there ain't going to be no problem. How's that? So File, Save All. Now let's run it again and see now if it looks a little bit better. Add product. There we go. So we should be able to add a new product here. Let's try to add one. ABC123. Description. This is a new product. Price $55.99. Save. Well, it doesn't like that, and it doesn't like cancel. I'm going to have the same problem because the buttons are named something different. All right, the good news is I can now do this. Exit, exits. All right, so this now is fine. This, I'm going to have to remove these two buttons and do the same doggone thing. So let's see. This is BTN save. And there's BTN save. This is the problem you get when you do a lot of copying from other programs. All right. And then we will have our cancel. Okay, and the cancel is just going to be, again, a this.close. All right. And I want to do one last thing in here, and that is I want to center this. And set the tab order. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. View tab order. Now let's run it and see what happens. All right, we click add product. Boom, there's our new product. Code ABC1234. Description new, not boo, new product. Price $44.99. Click save. All right, that's okay. It says object reference not set to an instance of a product. Okay, so something is wrong there. That's all right. We're going to get that fixed. All right. However, now when we do bring this up and we click exit, that works. And when we come up here and we click add product and we click cancel, that works. All right, so all that stuff is working. I've got a simple error that we will fix, all right, as soon as we find out where it is. Now, let's first go over the reason I was getting this error to begin with. All right. I had originally named mine BTN add and BTN this and that. What you should not ever do is come in and copy code from another program. If you want to do that, copy the guts. That's what I should have copied, not this. This is the method signature, and I should not have copied that in. That was the reason I was getting the problems I was getting. So let's look at the code. So this is here. When we want to add a product, what are we doing? Well, this is, let's put some instantiate new product form. You know how to do this because we figured out how to do the form before. All right. Now, so this is going to create the new form. This is going to say from the new product form, call the get new product. All right, so let's go to the new product form and see if there's a get new product in here. There it is. Okay, now that should be showing that to us. For some reason it's not, and I don't know why, but it's not. And again, it's okay. We're going to get all this working. So this now is correct. This now is correct. And this now is correct. Those are all correct. And in this one, that save is now correct. And the cancel is now correct. So taking it from the top. All right. We come in here. What is supposed to happen is this is supposed to use the other class that was in here, that productdb.cs class. That is this one. All right, maybe we should start with this one. This is supposed to go and set up on the C drive something called C:// C# files /products.txt. Now I thought I had that file in there. All right, so if you look, I don't want to look there, but I'm going to look in my C drive. So C:// C# files /products.txt. So products.txt. There it is. That file does exist. So what should have happened there is it should have filled this up with a couple things to begin with, and it looks like it didn't. Now, when you list the products, notice get products. All right, in English, this is saying, as this comment says, you're checking for the existence of a directory, this directory. All right, and it says if it does not exist, create it. So let's see if we remove this stuff, if it'll create it for us. I don't know if it will or not. All right, so I don't know. We can always go back and recreate it. It's no big thing. So I'm going to come back in here where we had all this stuff, and I'm going to go to my C:// Okay, and again, I have a folder here named C#. I'm just going to rename this. I'm going to call it junk. All right. All right, so now it should not exist, so it should create it. So let's see if indeed that happens. So we're going to do this. Run the program. All right, now I have no idea if it did anything at all here. I have absolutely no idea. So let's look. I'm going to come back here. And I'm going to go back to my C drive. All right. Now, did it make a folder named C:/? It does not look like it did. All right. It does not exist. All right. So it should create it, but I don't think this has been called yet, this get products. All right. Now, create the object for the input stream for a text file. All right. Well, this is kind of tough because we haven't talked about files yet. All right. But this should open up that file, and it should open it up for read permission so we can read from it. All right. Then we're telling it to come in here and create a new list. We haven't talked about lists yet. That's why this is a hard thing to wrap ourselves around. All right. Then it says read the data from the file and store it in the list. That's what this is doing. This is saying read through it, and as long as you've got something in there, store it. Put it in there. All right? And then close it and return that. And when you go to save things, now notice it's using write permission. Before it was reading, but if you click the save button, it should take whatever you put in there and it should save it. All right, now, it didn't appear like it was working, but that's okay. All right, so we've got that. All right, now let's look at the other things that are in here. Let's look at our main. All right, so what is in here? All right, this is creating our new list of products, and it's making it null, meaning there's nothing in it. All right, when you load, it should be calling that get products. So it should be going out to the C drive and trying to find that, and then it should fill up the product list box with that. And that does that right here. Now, LST products. Is that what I called my list box? LST products. Well, that was good. More an accident than anything else, but it works. All right, so this should add everything to it. This add again is screwed up. The delete is screwed up and the exit is screwed up. They've been replaced with these. All right, and I think what I'm going to have to do is basically, for lack of better words, just remove this stuff and put it back in again. All right, I will do that, but I'm not going to do that in front of you because I've screwed it up once already, and I don't want to screw it up again. All right. And we have this new product thing, and this actually isn't that difficult. This is going to validate that what we put in there by calling what's in that validator thing, all right, it's going to validate that everything that we put in there is okay. So it's going to take what we put in this first text box and put it in code, in the second text box, and it's going to put it in description, and in the third text box, and it's going to put it into price. All right, and that's the whole thing. Now, why isn't this working right now? Good question, because I don't know why. I mean, everything that's in here now looks like it should be working. So if I come in here and I click Add Product, all right, and I put in, again, we saw this before, ABC123, hello, and $40. Now, when I click Save, it should be adding that, but it's not. It says object reference not set to an instance of an object, which says to me that possibly this line of code right here is incorrect. All right, products.add product. It looks like it would be correct because we are adding to our products thing our individual product. But it says object reference not set to an instance of an object. So there is a problem in there. Let's go back to here. All right. And I'm going to back way up. And this is the code we put in. All right. So I'm going to go over this right now. Now, notice the delete. We can't test that because there's nothing in our dialog box yet, but there really should be. So what I'm going to try to do one more time, and I don't know why this wouldn't work, all right, but I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to, it did not create a new folder called C:, oops, so I'm going to create one. It's going to be called C#, and I'm going to go there, so I'm now under C:, C#, and I'm going to create another folder. And that's going to be called Files. Okay. And then inside of Files, I'm going to put the same thing that we had so C:// junk, and that junk files, it should be this one right here, products.txt. All right, so let's look. This is our separator, that thing that was called sep. So I'm going to grab all of this. I'm going to copy it to the clipboard. I'm going to close this and go back to this one. I'm going to put in here a new text document that's called products.txt. Just like that. I'm going to open this, and I'm going to place those two lines of code in there. And save and close. All right. Now I'm going to try to run the program again. I don't think it'll still work. I think the problem is right here. But when I bring this up, see, this should have those two records in it, and they're not showing right now. All right. So what I have to do, you're watching me debug in real time. All right. So what I have to do here is bring this up and compare this with what I have in my actual code. So this is the product maintenance form, FRM product main. There it is. Let's bring up the code. And I know some of it was just copied in, but still something in here is hosed. So let's see if we can figure out what it is. Okay. Fill product list box. LST products.items.clear. For each product P in products LST. Add P.get display text. That all looks good. All right. The rest is on the next page here. Okay. So add, which is down here. Product form equals new. Product, that's fine. Product equals new product form dot get new product. Product not null. Product not null. Products dot add product. Product db dot save products. Fill product list box. Sure. That looks good. Delete. Sure you want to delete that. Button message. Delete message buckets. Remove the products. Save the products. Fill product list box. This dot close. That is all correct. All right, every bit of that is correct. Okay. So, file, save all. Let's bring up the other one, which is my new product. All right. And in new product here, components. I don't know, maybe because it doesn't like that not having the exclamation point, but that shouldn't be enough to make this not work. Get new product, this dot show dialog, return product, that's good. All right, we need our save. is valid data, product equal new, new product, that's fine. Code equals this, description, price, this dot close. That looks correct to me. That's just this. This dot close. It's down there. Cancel this dot close. And we've got the is valid data. Data. Success is true. String error message. Is present. Name product code. Is decimal. That looks correct. That all looks correct to me. The code for the validator class. String name. String message. Is true. Required field. String message. Good. Is decimal. Drive parse. Is in 32. Alright, is within range. All right, all the code that I can see that's in here looks correct. Everything that I can see that's in here looks correct. Again, and I apologize for this. The problem is I did some copy and paste, which I shouldn't have done. All right, now let's quickly go through this. Okay, then what we're going to do is I'm going to call it an evening and try to go back and recreate this and see if I recreate it, if it works. Okay? All right. Now, in this case right here, notice what we're doing in here. We're doing some data validation. We're saying when you get the product code, if it's empty, return NA, which would mean something like not available or not applicable or whatever. Otherwise, return the code. Now with the set, there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing it like this. This can also be written like this, just so you know. You can put in here that'll work as well. Now, why would you use one as opposed to the other one? Well, this one's a little more work, it's a little more typing. This is the more standard way, the old school way of doing it. But if I do bring this in, that'll work just fine. Okay? All right, same kind of thing with a get. Now here we're doing a set. So as it says, this one is a getter that processes it before returning it. This is a setter that processes it before setting it. All right? All right. Now this is an example of overloaded methods. I kind of showed you this before. When you overload something, what you do is you'll notice that in here we've got public string get display text. There's nothing in the parentheses. Here we have string sep. So here we're passing in a separator. In our case, you may or may not remember, it was that pipe sign, basically. Here we don't have one, so what we're saying is if we don't provide a separator in between each field, put a comma in a space. All right? So there's how you'd use both of them. You can overload constructors. What this says is when you create a project, there's two ways of creating a project, or a product, I should say. If you call and create a product like this, it's going to set the code to its default value of the empty string, the description to its default value of the empty string, and price to its default value of 0. But if you call it like this, you must provide a string for the code, a string for the description, and a decimal for the price. All right. Now, notice here, we have the word required. If you put the word required there, then you must provide those. All right. And there is a set required attributes for this as well. We're going to be going over all this stuff in class. I want you to know something. All right. That my plan, that isn't working out that great, but it's my plan anyway, was to go through these PowerPoints before the semester started. And then when we get into the book, we'll be doing the book. We'll be going right out of the book. The PowerPoints that we're doing now are based off of the book. All right. All right. Nested if statements to test an object's type and property value. Well, what they're saying is if it's a property, you'll do this. Now, it's nested, meaning you will only do this if else if that if is true. Okay. And rather than doing it as an if, you can do it as a switch. All right. And you can use some of the newfangled ways of doing this, including the discard value here. All right. It says here this is a method that checks two types of objects. And what it's saying here, it looks like at least, is if you buy something from the .NET, you'll save 10%. From the Java, you'll save 20%. From web, you'll save 30%. And from mainframe, you'll save 40%. All right? Those are the categories. So there might be quantity discounts as well, where they're worth 20%, and terms. And usually what that means is you're expected to pay for this in 30 days. Now, so much of this stuff that's in here is going to say like version 10 or later. All right? When we put ours in here, we were using version 8, or at least that's what I was using. I'm going to probably go back on the first day of class and remove what I've got and put in the new stuff. All right? We'll see. All right. The chapter ends here by talking about structures and talking about records. All right? And structures are basically, if you look at this, it looks almost exactly like a class. And it's very similar to a class. All right, that's almost identical to what we put in before. All right. Notice you can have read-only structures. All right. What I think I'm going to do is, rather than going through the rest of this, because I don't want to confuse anybody any more than I probably already have. All right, so I'm going to stop it right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back just to show you. And I don't know if it'll work or not, but I'm going to try it. And you're not going to watch me do it. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go back. There's absolutely nothing wrong in my code right now, I'm pretty sure, with this product DB. And there's nothing wrong with my code in here with my validator. Those are fine. So I'm going to create a new project. I'm going to copy those two in because they're fine the way they are. But I'm going to go back and rewrite. I want to repeat that. I'm going to go back and I'm going to rewrite my product class. In fact, that's probably going to be all right the way it is. But I'm going to go back and rewrite both of my forms. And I'm going to make sure I name these things correctly. All right. If I get that working, then when I start next, I'm going to do two things. First, I want to go over this and hopefully have it working so I can show you what it's supposed to do. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to rewrite the employee program using classes. All right. Okay, so I'll be back with that shortly. In fact, let's do this. I'm going to take this, and I'm at 36 minutes. I'm going to pause, try to rewrite this, and we'll see if we get it to work. So you'll know by the end of this lecture whether or not it works or doesn't work. All right, you might as well see this with me. I went back and rewrote everything, and we're going to see now if it's going to work. So let's run the program. I didn't play with colors or anything. Okay, it is grabbing that from the file. So let's see if we can add a new product. All right, this will be ABC1234. It'll just say new product, and it'll be $55. Now, when I click save, it should add it back to the first form. And there it is. All right, and I don't want this one anymore, so I'm going to click on it, choose delete product. And it says, are you sure you want to delete new product? So use the name. I say yes, boom. I would like to make this a little bit wider here. Let's run it one last time. And that looks pretty good. So I can now add a new product. All right, let's cancel. So you can see what we have in here. So let's add a new product. The code will be ASP MVC. The description will be Murox ASP.NET MVC. Again, that could be a little wider, as you see. And the price will be $58.50. Save, and there it is. All right. If we click delete product and nothing is highlighted, there's nothing to delete. We can add yet another product in here, and we'll put in Murox SQL Server 2022. And that'll be, in fact, that'll be the description. The code will be SQL Server. All right, the description will be that, and the price will be $77.88. Save, there it is. I made that a little too big, I guess, but you get the idea, or at least I believe you do. Let's remove that one. Yes, I do want to remove it, and we'll leave that one in there. Okay, so I now have everything in here working. Thank goodness. All right, this should go a lot slicker because I'll use this copy when I'm doing it with you in class. I apologize for problems, but you know what? I'm getting freaking sick and tired of apologizing. So that's it.